I don't know. So just a few updates from our side. So a lot of the updates came in last meetings in terms of a lot of the documents that we circulated. So we got a lot of feedback and comments on those. So two of them have been finalized. The biggest sort of being the actual call out. And so I posted it on sort of the Facebook site. It's also the main page of the website at occupyedmonton.org. So please start getting that call out as much as possible, because if we do want, the numbers that we want to get out, we need to spread the word as quickly as possible. So please start spreading the word on that sort of stuff. So we do have two interim media spokespeople that I told you about last time, and so there's already been a lot of sort of media requests that have come in, press, CTV, CBC, the list goes on and on. So there's definitely a lot of media interest sort of in what we're doing. And then we also, at the end of last meeting, we had three more people sort of come up and identify themselves as, willing to sort of do media spokes for the day of. And so we do have some of those folks that will be speaking on the day of to sort of some of the media talking points. That's one update there. Media talking point suggestions. So we got a lot of different talking point suggestions. And so at the end of this meeting, I'll sort of circulate it back out to the main list. And I did sort of put it out once for suggestions already, just of what sort of media talking points were. And then the one sort of big flag was that we didn't have one specifically on the banks. So we've drafted one specifically on the banks. So just look for that in your sort of email box that we'll be sort of putting it out, along with sort of some frequently asked questions that people have been already getting in interviews, and how, our initial take on how to answer them. And so on the day of, media folks come up to you. We also want everybody here to be prepared, and so you can see some of our initial suggestions. And so I'll send that out to the whole list there as soon as we are done this. Speakers list suggestions. So this was weirdly passed to us at the end of last meeting, and so I think there's a lot of people working on it, so that we can just set sort of our initial suggestions on what we were thinking, and then hopefully other groups that were working on it, hopefully we can sort of get together at the end and come up with a solidified agenda. And so what was sort of our suggestion is that we do have a few speakers at the beginning, and then we have sort of a few speakers at the end before the actual General Assembly. Just because we didn't want to start things with the General Assembly because, one, our meetings tend to go a little bit long, and we wanted things to go and keep sort of the energy that I think is going to be there on the day of, and then also that we're inviting media to come out at the very start. And so we want to make sure that they get a strong message rather than, a bigger conversation on some of the topics that we're talking about. So these are some of our initial suggestions. And of course, there's spots that just say speaker from Occupy Edmonton Group. And so we are looking for different speaker suggestions from sort of the group tonight. You can come talk to us, and we can sort of get a feel for folks who want to speak and potentially put you there. And so what we were thinking is that opening with sort of a representative from Treaty 6, because we are on Treaty 6 traditional territory, that would basically just do an opening welcome, and then we'd do a short smudge ceremony to offer a sort of strength for combating and fighting the fights that we're going to fight. And so we were thinking about starting with that. A speaker from our group who could give a brief overview of sort of how this group came together and some of the reasons why we're coming together today and what's happening all around the world. Speaking about that, of course, Edmonton's wonderful Raging Grannies, and they have some songs that they want to perform specifically for us. Malcolm Alzania, which also Minister Faust is sort of one of our suggestions. He's a very passionate speaker, and I think would be really great. We also wanted a speaker from a poverty organization to bring in sort of that poverty perspective and sort of income disparity, because this is one of the main issues that people have brought up, and then also a speaker from the environmental perspective. And so we would, each of those people, would be, we're hoping sort of 2 to 3 minutes, and so keep it very short and succinct, and just see that we go through that. Then, of course, we would have the march, and then coming back, what we were thinking, or our suggestion, is having someone like Paul Kirkham, who's a local Edmonton artist, to sort of be playing songs and welcoming us back to sort of Sir Winston Churchill Square. So as we're coming back in, for her, play some songs, Ecuador. Again, sort of another sort of perspective on why we're there. So there was a name put forward of Wayne Rothschild from Ecuador. Oh, you suggested. um, okay. Oh, that's fine. Would like to talk after. Yep. And then Sutana or Blaine Whitstriker, who's with the Blackfoot First Nation, to speak. And then we're also hoping to have sort of a more musical presence right at the end. And so having a group like Politic Live or somebody like that could again, sort of energize the crowd and really get us ready. And then also as just sort of an open mic space. And so if other people had messages that they wanted to bring forward or wanted to get up different messages, that there would also be a space for that before we would actually hold the general assembly. So that's sort of our overall sort of suggestions. Um, and yeah, I guess I'm looking for sort of comments. Folks here, have we hit the right mark? Too many other names that you would suggest, that type of stuff.